Scott, well, right now, some University of Arkansas students are having to sleep somewhere else after a late-night water leak forced nearly 500 out of Reid Hall. University says all 450 residents were evacuated after water flooded several of the floors there. 5 News reporter Taylor Howard is live on campus now, sharing reactions from some of those students who were inside. Taylor?
Yeah, Morgan, most students should be able to sleep in their dorm rooms tonight, but for about 100 of them, they could be waiting through the weekend.
It was like 11:30. We were like falling asleep. We heard a knock on our door.
And then they knocked louder, so we opened the door. And they were like, sorry, but like our floor is flooding.
Not exactly how these two freshmen expected their first week of college to go. Roommates Sophie Baldwin and Silila Sathyanarayanan live on the 5th floor of Reid Hall. They say water was already moving down from the floors above them.
We put all of our towels. We have no clean towels now, so all of our towels in front of our door.
The university says a water leak around 11:30 Thursday night flooded several floors, forcing all 450 residents out. Some found friends to stay with. Others, John Thomas with the university, says were given temporary campus housing or hotel rooms.
The main focus was to try to make sure the water was off, make sure we knew where the leak was coming from, and to try to start the mitigation process. And that started immediately.
By Friday morning, there was some good news. Thomas says the damage wasn't as widespread as the university first thought. Most students will return to their dorms. Up to 100, though, may have to wait through the weekend.
It caught us off guard.
Yes, it was more frustrating.
Yeah.
And scary that our stuff was going to be messed up, but thankfully it doesn't look like it's too bad.
Morgan, for the students who won't be in their dorms this weekend, the university is providing housing for them. University says it'd like to have everyone back in Reid Hall by Sunday afternoon, possibly sooner. Back to you in the studio, Morgan.
All right, thank you for that report, Taylor. Another top story today, students at the University of Arkansas Fort Smith were evacuated after a bomb threat. The all clear was given around 2 this afternoon. This is what it looked like around campus along Grand Avenue. The chancellor says the threat came in through a phone call answered by an employee. After hours of investigating and sweeps by a bomb squad, the threat was deemed not credible. Students shared how quickly things unfolded. Well, 2 of 6 Fort Smith police officers at the center of a misconduct investigation will not be decertified. However, they cannot be rehired at FSPD. According to an August 3rd memo from Chief Danny Baker to the Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, the police department asks that request to decertify Seth, Dominic, and John Lee be withdrawn. In January, a judge ruled one of the other officers fired from the same incident as Lee and Dominic should not be decertified. In that memo, Baker calls their conduct similar and says the department believes decertification would likely be overturned on appeal. A department spokesperson confirmed both Lee and Dominic's terminations were upheld and they will not be eligible to be rehired by the department. A longtime Fayetteville Homeless Resource Center is closing its School Avenue location, but Seven Hills says this change will allow expanded services in a new affordable housing complex. 5 News reporter Bo Russell is in Fayetteville after speaking with the nonprofit CEO.
Well, if you live in Fayetteville or have traveled on School Ave, you're probably familiar with Seven Hills Day Center. The center's actually closing its doors, but the nonprofit says its services are actually improving.
For nearly 16 years, this day center has provided basic services to people experiencing homelessness. Now, Seven Hills CEO Becky Jones says the organization is ready to consolidate those services into one location.
Efficiency-wise, it's having 2 locations. It's not efficient. I mean, nonprofit does not mean non-professional, right? We're still a business. Trying to navigate that has been extremely difficult.
Jones says the day center services will move to a new resource hub at the Walker campus off of East Huntsville Ave.
We will still offer mail pickup for people, clothing for people, legal aid, all of the basic necessities that are taking place at the day center will happen at the resource hub.
She says the move will allow Seven Hills staff to focus less on monitoring 2 locations and more on offering help to the homeless.
For us to be able to not be tied to a building all day long, we'll be able to go out and find people and say, look, we've been looking for you. It's time for you to get into shelter. So we're really excited about that program piece changing for us as well.
While Seven Hills is leaving South School Avenue, the property itself is maintaining a helpful presence. Seven Hills is under contract to sell the location to VH Companies, which plans to build 60 affordable housing units there.
The ability to have affordable housing in a spot that was once a day center where there was no housing is just kind of the coolest visual to go up.
Jones calls the deal a win-win, moving Seven Hills services to one campus while adding more affordable housing. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, I'm Bo Russell, 5 News.
Well, happening now, NBA star and Fort Smith native Isaiah Joe is officially being honored with the street named in his honor. Darren Bobb is emceeing this event. Right now, the Fort Smith Public Schools superintendent is speaking. Let's listen in.
He was named the SEC All-Freshman Team member. He made 113 out of 273 three-pointers at the university, 41.4%, breaking the Arkansas previously held record by Scotty Thurman at 102. And tying a record for freshmen in SEC while also leading the conference in three-point percentage. He was also named the SEC Player of the Week after scoring 34 points, 10 of 13 shooting from three, 11 of 14 overall against FIU on December 1st of 2018. Now, entering his sophomore season, Joe was named preseason All-SEC and also added to the Jerry West Award watch list. Joe was named the SEC Co-Player of the Week in week of January 2nd, 2020, following a 24.5 rebound performance in a 71-64 win against Indiana. Joe scored 34 points, including 26 of those in the second half on January 12th to lead Arkansas to a 76-72 comeback win over Ole Miss. As a sophomore, he averaged 16.9 points per game, 4-point rebounds, and following this season, he entered the NBA draft. Isaiah began his NBA career with the Sixers before joining the Oklahoma City Thunder. Well, I don't have to tell you, but on June 22nd, 25, Joe won.
All right.